Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Lois and welcome back to Stoneblock 3. In the last episode, we were continuing our work trying to clean up this base and get things kind of nice, organizing things, and I've started working on some stuff. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit. Basically just trying to get everything kind of infrastructure set up and a little bit nicer so that we can do stuff. We also started working on getting through all of the create quests that are in here, which by the way I had a module from Pretty Pipes in the chest. I picked it up and put it in my inventory for like a second. I picked this up and that was enough to complete a quest, so let's go ahead and complete that. Got some iron ore. That's cool. I don't really care, I'll be honest. But yeah, so we've been working on trying to get through some create quests as well as just making things a little bit nicer around here. And I've still been working on that. Haven't gotten too much progress. I'll be blunt, I haven't done too much work on this mod pack. So, like, I did set up a little bit of planning. So this is going to be our cobble works. We have a cobblestone generator. We'll put a chest on top of it once we're ready. And yeah, there's a couple things that I want to talk about with this whole system. One, we need to make something to make this work a little bit better, and I'll probably end up setting up most of it off camera. But the principle of how our farm, which is going to go probably against this back wall, I'll just run pipes underneath the ground over here or something. But how our farms and the cobbleworks is going to work, I had to move the flint down here because we're going to work on the principle that this will fill up. And we shouldn't be getting any gravel or sand or anything else. So we're going to be making gravel, sand, dirt, glass, and stone. We should not be getting those from any other sources. And rather than with like some of the stuff that we get, which at some point we'll need to upgrade the pipes, not a big deal. So some of the resources that we're getting, such as like this chest, this drawer, so apatite, cinnabar, sulfur, and niter. I couldn't remember which one that was. We're voiding it, so it will only have 512 ever. But if we get any more, which we obviously do, it just gets voided out. Not a big deal. The cobbleworks and our farm is going to work on the principle of when a drawer fills up, it will stop producing. And so that's kind of the plan. We're going to have... I'm going to have to rearrange things a little bit. I might even have to have a temporary like couple of drawers set up for that. We'll see how it works, but that is going to be kind of the plan with all of that. Is when the glass, for example, fills up, it'll stop producing glass, and that will be great. Same with like wheat or trees. So that is going to be what we do. Now, in order to make that a lot better, we need to make a thing called a filter destination tool. This thing is complicated. It is weird, but basically what we can do is we can set a side, and so destination set on this block, and if we were to look at something like this, we can add, you know, extract things, we can add filters, and we can put the destination there. So I think there's a way to do lists of destination, but basically we're going to have filters everywhere and make sure that things go in the right places. So for example, this is only going to accept cobblestone, and it will extract gravel. We'll make sure that things go in the right place. This is just going to let us kind of make sure that we can I clear it? I don't know if I can clear it or not. Do I shift right click? Nope. I have no idea if you can clear that, but we're going to kind of set this up. I could also use XNet, and I might do that if need be. We'll kind of play it by ear, but I'm going to work on that off camera. Today, we're going to finish up all of the quests. The other thing that I want to do, actually before we get to the create quest, there's one other thing that I want to make, and it is from the furnace mod, which is what? Iron furnaces. We are going to make the factory augment because I want to use, what do we need? A piston? I want to use a furnace to smelt up stuff, and this is going to allow us to use power rather than fuel, so we don't have to worry about coal. I also want to upgrade, if we had some more blaze rods. You know what, we can fight a few more blazes. Real quick, there is something that we need. This is all the stuff that we should need for most of the stuff for create quests. But we need to throw some netherrack in here and get that processing. And then we can worry about everything else. So that will show up in our barrel over there. So the other thing that I wanted to do, we need to kill some blazes. Shouldn't be too bad. I think we'll need a bucket, unfortunately. But we'll get things kind of set up eventually. This needs more power. And are you... Get me some more essence. I will walk away for a minute. So, we're going to mostly focus on getting the create quest done today. That is the main plan. And hopefully it won't be too bad to do. We have so many ender pearls now, which is nice. I wish we had a lot more blaze rods and blaze heads, because that would be nice. But if you guys want to spawn, that'd be nice, so we can get just the last little bit of essence that we need. Come on. And then yeah, we're gonna complete the create quest, and then we'll see kind of where we're at from there. There's all of 5 items in the quest line, so we need to make the train station stuff and mechanical arm, and then the blaze cake, which basically powers up the blaze burners. So let's do this, and might as well rude. We gotta turn that off. We'll never get a blaze head unless we turn that off. I was like, where are my blazes going? I forgot. Okay. So, I think that's probably all the blazes. We have the blaze rods we need. We didn't get any heads. Unfortunate. So, let's upgrade this furnace to obsidian level, because I want to see now. Okay, I wonder if we can upgrade it further to netherite. We don't have stuff for netherite, and then we're gonna need a lot of stuff. I was hoping that would have multiple slots. It does not. That is unfortunate, but that is kind of whatever. So the furnace is gonna go back here. I'm just gonna put it in this chest with this stuff, and I will deal with that later. So let's get on to create. So what we're going to work on, it's fine. Just trying to figure out inventory. What we're going to work on first is if we have the netherrack product, which there it is. So it will be here in just a moment. We need to make a cake. So we're also going to need to make a spout. So let's make the spout real quick. It requires copper and dried kelp. So we'll get the copper casing. You know, I'm going to do something like this. Break that. I really should use... I need to get used to using the wrench. And there is a spout. So the spout is what we need with the egg and sugar. And then the flour, so cinder flour is what we get from processing netherrack. We only need 1. And the base of the cake requires compacting, so it is a mechanical press and a basin. Okay, so we have a basin and we do have a mechanical press, so let's go use this stuff. And so we just remove this, put that there, and then sugar, egg, and cinder flour. It'll press it into a cake. And there is the base of the cake. So that's cool. And then we have to spout lava to it. So we have a mechanical pump. Let's see. I guess we could grab a couple of these things. If this fills up with lava, it's not the end of the world. And then I guess let's just take the jumbo tank. Let's find someplace we can, you know what, actually we can just latch on right here to the mechanical pump. Let's see. We put this here, mechanical pump there. That needs to go the other direction. And then we might be able to just do this. Yeah. So we're going to put just a single bucket of lava into that. And perfect. We might need to do a little bit more of that in a little bit, but let's I don't have any cobblestone on me. I got rid of, it's easier to just double click the drawer controller, and that gets rid of all my cobblestone. I'm also getting a lot more stone now because I have Silk Touch on the Paxel, so it's a little bit nicer, but still I don't care too much about how nice this is. So let's put that there, and then we are going to need the depot underneath here with the cake base, and that will put the stuff on, and we get the blaze cake. So that is one of the quests. We got a couple of redstone flux cell frames. Cool. Okay, so the next thing I think we want to make, I want to see if we can make this sturdy sheet. So we need obsidian dust. Now we have obsidian, and if we put this in the enricher over here, the enriching factory, I believe that makes obsidian dust. We can also crush it, but enrichment chamber is better. It gets us 4 and works quite nicely, to be honest. So we'll get this, and then can we just place this here? No. Okay, actually we can. But we're gonna have to do some more things to it. So we can do this manually. Are you out of lava? Does it take half a bucket per try? So we're gonna need 3 of these train casings. Okay, and then we need to, yeah, we need to stamp it. So you know what? Let's just make another depot. I don't know. I didn't plan for this. And we're going to want to get more lava. So we'll just put this here for now. And I think if we have a full bucket, we can just do stuff. So we can't do anything to that. So this is not process. We need to process in a press. So the depot is what? Andesite casing and an andesite alloy. Alright, that's easy enough. Let's go ahead and get rid of these. And then we're going to want a oak log and 2 andesite alloys. We do this to 1, break it. Again, I should probably use the wrench, but oh well. There is a depot. And then we just set this right here. And it gets pressed twice. And I don't actually know if we need any more lava or not, but if... Nope, that is the sturdy sheet. Perfect. Okay, so what we can do is we can grab a bucket. We can break this. We can break this. For the record, you can't just take fluids out of the spout or anything like that, but we can fill a bucket up. And you cannot place fluids in there, which is why I didn't, for the record. So we should be able to do that. That is all set. We can put our mechanical pipe here. We want it to go the other direction. Perfect. Okay, so let's get the last sturdy sheet and put that away. Cool. So in order to make the train stuff, we're going to need a compass, we're going to need an electron tube, and we're going to need a pressure plate of some sort. And those are all pretty straightforward and easy, so let's get rose quartz, polished rose quartz. We can automatically craft that now. It is fantastic. We need to get a compass. Did we ever... Hold up. Did we ever make the thing that does the thing over here? Yes, we did. Okay, so those have crafting upgrades. Perfect. I am smart. That was fantastic. That was thinking ahead. So we have the compass. We're going to need a pressure plate. Doesn't really matter. We can use planks because they're plentiful. We could also just use a pressure plate from our adventures. So all of this is not too bad. The last thing we need is a electron tube, which we had the iron sheets in there. So that is perfect. Okay. So then, in order to make the train casings, we need brass casings. So 3 brass casings and 3 logs. Will make things go pretty easy. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. Now we have 3 trains. We can then put this here, get the train observer, train stations, and train signals. Now I'll be honest, I have no plans to use any of those ever, so we're gonna just not worry about it. The train system of Create, I do know, is really cool, and you can do a lot of work with it. Also, I missed a quest. Whoops. Oh, that's easy. Okay, we can make that. In fact, let's grab another piece of gold. Because in order to make the mechanical arm, we need to make the precision mechanism, which does require a golden sheet. So we're going to need to make 2 golden sheets. We're going to need all this stuff. And yeah, this should be pretty straightforward. So these guys, I don't know, are going to like this or not. Can I give you that to hold? I can. But then, where'd it go? Okay, so let's turn this off for now. And you need something. Let's grab just like a hopper or something, because I don't think it's going to work. Also, I need to do it in the right order. I need to remember that. Cogwheels are first. So let's get a... How do we want to do this? Let's get a chute, I guess. I should have some of those. And see if we can't get our large cogwheels back. If I lose them, it's not the end of the world. But it would be nice to not. Alright, perfect. Can we... There we go. Alright, you need to hold those. You need to hold those. and you need to hold those. So we need, for this, like, precision mechanism, it is really, really annoying to make. We have to do this 5 times. Cogwheel, large cogwheel, and then iron nugget. And so we put the gold sheet through, and then we try to catch it before it gets put into the system. So this is going to take a little bit of babysitting because of how we have this. Alternatively, I could just break this for right now, and I think that'll be fine. And so we got to do this 5 times, and then we'll get the precision mechanism, and then it will be easy enough to finish things off. So the other things that we're going to need for this is another brass casing, so let's go grab that. And andesite alloy and brass alloy. So the mechanical arm is something that's actually really cool. It's just a bit of a pain to make because you have to do this so many times. But let's go ahead and strip the log. Brass casing. Perfect. I meant to use the wrench again, but I didn't. And then this should be the last time. So I do need to grab the items again, but I'll fix that in a little bit. Gave us a cogwheel? Oh, it's an 80% chance? That's so messed up. Okay, so let's go ahead and make the steam engine, and then I will do that a couple more times until I can actually get it, and then I'll do that off camera, obviously. So let's just make the steam engine. That is easy enough. Steam engine placed on a tank full of water and heat below generates rotational energy. It's a steam engine. Okay, so I will be... Ooh, an uncommon backpack. That's kind of cool. Don't really have much use for it, but that's cool. Okay, so I am going to get another gold sheet and all the stuff to make that. None of this stuff was particularly difficult to get. We probably have... Yeah, we have a bunch of shafts. We even have quite a few cogwheels lying around. So it's not like it's too bad to make. It's just some planks. So I am going to do this until I get a precision mechanism. So I didn't realize it's an 80% chance of that working. That is terrible. I don't know if there's a way to increase the chance of that. Luckily, it's not used for much that I really care about. So that's cool. Just making sure that there's nothing. Extendo grip, wand of symmetry, and a potato cannon. Potato cannons are cool, but yeah. So I'm gonna make the precision. What is it called? Precision mechanism, and then we'll come back and finish up the crate quest. So I will hopefully only take one more try. It took just one more try, so that was fairly lucky, fairly unlucky to be honest. 80% chance we should have gotten it on the first try, but oh well. These have to be plates. Didn't realize that. Alright, so once we make these, we will be able to complete the last of the crate quests, and then I don't know if we'll do too much more in the rest of this episode or not, but I definitely need to get some stuff done around the base. Biggest thing is getting the cobbleworks and the farm started to set up, and then try to figure out what it is we need to do more than anything. I need to get blazes. That is a pretty big deal, so we can start getting netherite stuff. But let's go ahead and make this mechanical arm. Pretty easy. And the super loud chapter complete. So mechanical arms do what you would think. They can be powered so that they can pick up things and move them. It's really kind of cool. But I don't really have much use for them, so they're not useful for me. And that is going to give us another random reward. Diamond Impact Hammer. What is this? A 3x3x3? That's not bad, but not great. Don't really care. I guess for the rest of this episode, I mean, we need to do some work with immersive engineering at some point. Industrial foregoing, we still need to finish that off. Don't really feel like doing that. Mechanism is going to be a pain. There is some really terrible things with mechanism that we are going to have to do, and it revolves around getting plutonium, which we are going to need for plutonium pellet singularities. But we only need 3 of them, so it's not like super bad. But then, yeah, extreme crafting. Ooh, that's a different recipe, so that requires mechanical. Okay, that's not terrible though. So I think what we should probably start working towards in the near-ish future, we need to get nether stars, but to get nether stars we need more of, or is it these guys? And there are ways to make it, but it's gonna be easier to go find a wither skeleton, preferably a wither skeleton spawner, and do it that way. I don't think that there's any other way. I don't think there's any wither chickens or anything like that, and I don't believe. Let's see if I hit uses on this. At least we can see the nether star. Nope, there's no alternative recipes for the nether star. So we're gonna have to deal with that at some point. But when we do, we're going to get really big into this mod, which is mob grinding utilities. Really good stuff to make things really easy for us. But then we're gonna want to start doing. This mod used to be called Avertitia. Oh, it is still. This is in-game stuff, and then ultimate armor. Yeah. So I think what we're gonna do for the rest of today. There is some more stuff. Ooh, a trip through the world. Ride a train through all 5 biomes in one go. Okay, so that, I guess we're going to have to make a train at some point. That's interesting. The only thing left in this chapter that we can see is making the Cobblegen Tier 5, which requires Molten Diamond, which requires Blazing Blood. So can't do that quite yet. Storage, there's a lot of things here, especially the applied energistic stuff. We'll worry about that another time. Let's make a trash can and say hello to a bee. That is like killing my frame rates. Okay, so trash can. Trash cans are exactly what you think. They throw away items. I don't really have a use for it, but there is the quest. So we'll complete that. That also gave us an entangled block, which completed this quest. That's kind of neat. Entangled block seems like it might be useful. I don't know if we'll ever use it, but it seems useful. Compact machines, that's going to be difficult because this is a whole thing that we have to do. Let's get the items. I think these items despawn really quickly, so kind of nice to be able to grab them. And then we can just throw them in here. Okay, so what else can we do? Dread lamp. We're probably missing items for that. Let's see, a construction one. We can definitely make a stone construction one. I don't really care about that. So sticks. I don't know why it was messing up for a second, but it was. Flashbacks to the other episode. Hold up. No, okay. So construction one, stone one. Oh, it's cobblestone, not. Okay, that's easier. So we'll make a stone one. These are, construction ones are exactly what you think. They let you place blocks. You can see the outline. They're useful if you're doing big builds, but not really planning on doing anything with that. So don't care. We have another of the compact machines, the personal shrinking device. Let's see, can we make a terminal? I'd rather not. Not right now. Let's see, what else do we have? Tesseract. Tesseracts are going to be a pain. Mining gadget. We could probably quickly craft a mining gadget. I don't see anything too terrible with that. So there is the blank upgrade thing. Mining gadget complete. And then modification table and upgrades. So let's just add mining gadgets. So if we can make another one of those, and that apparently counts for the upgrades. Perfect. So we'll just make the modification table. This is another thing I'm not really planning on using, so we'll just quickly craft it and call it a day. And then charging station. Oh, we can make that. So charging station look like this. Perfect. All right, so I think, oh my God, we're getting so many of those. Let's see. I guess we could make a terminal. This is gonna be terrible to do, but actually, let's see. Is the crafting terminal any? Nope, it requires the item terminal. Never mind. So I really don't have any interest in getting into pretty pipes. It is a form of storage. Basically, you can make, using this item terminal and a bunch of chests, you can make a very rudimentary like refined storage or AE system. Don't really have a need for that. So do we have any upgrades in any of these chests that would help us kind of skip things? We have the high speed increase, but that's not. All right, well, let's just start. So we're gonna need 2 of these blank modules. I've seen those pipes somewhere, I thought. Okay, yeah, they're in here. Okay, so we just need to make 2 blank modules. And aren't, oh, those are fluid pipes. Oh, we can't use fluid pipes, but we can turn those back into normal pipes. And then we just need 2 stone slabs. So we can do this. All right, now we can make 2 of these blank modules, and we turn one into this with a piston. And then the other one, and of course they're different recipes. That takes so much redstone. We need another piston, but this one needs to be sticky. Oh, wrong thing. All right. Let's make that. And then we can make this. And then we can make that one. Do the same kind of thing for this. This one's a lot cheaper. It's just iron, gold, and diamonds. We have a lot more of those. Redstone was expensive. And there's the item terminal. That was a lot of crafting. So we'll get the random reward for that. Redstone repeaters, not worth it. Not at all. Because we're never going to use that stuff. So that leaves all of a tesseract, which requires Enderium. Enderium is lead. Oh, it's diamond dust. It used to be shiny ingots, but apparently that's been taken out. Ender dust. You can also make it with the... I guess you can make it with the induction smelter. Man, they've changed how this works. So yeah, then the middle is a void block, which requires sky blocks and chorus fruit sky blocks. Okay, that's easy at least. But I don't believe we have chorus fruit, so that's a thing we can't do anything about for a while. The compact machines, like I said, this is like just a lot of work. It's not anything that looks too terrible. It does require some eyes vendor, so we'll probably want to improve our blast, not our blast, our blaze farm, and I will probably want to make maybe not the netherite version, but at least the diamond. So the machines, they have different tiers. So the compact tiny one is a internal machine of 3x3. What these basically do is you put a block down and then you use the personal shrinking device to go inside the block, and you're in a room that's, for the tiny one, a 3x3. I don't know why my mouse decided to take my boots off. For the tiny one, it's a 3x3x3. For the maximum size, it's a 13x13x13 room. Now the cool thing is you can pipe things in and out of that. Like, it's basically another dimension, but you can pipe things in and out, and we might probably not use it. I'll be honest. I've considered, do we want to use it for mechanism stuff? But I think it's going to be better to just go somewhere far away and deal with the mechanism stuff, because it's a little bit scary. Nuclear reactors are terrifying, to be honest. And then this, we need smithing tables. Actually, we can make that. Let's go ahead and make that. So we'll complete one more quest, and then I think we'll probably end the episode off here. So this has been a very big day of questing. Getting all the crate stuff done was kind of nice, I'll be honest. And there is the auto smithing table that gets us a basket. All right. Probably put crops in that. So the only things left is the dread lamp, tesseract, and then the compact machines. All of those are difficult for different reasons, so we're gonna end things off there. Next time, I think what I want to work towards, so obviously I'm going to kind of finish up. I'm going to try to make the cobbleworks work. Basically, we're just going to be turning cobblestone into gravel, dirt, sand, glass, and stone, and then piping it all into here. I don't really care if we have cobblestone, I'll be honest. But if we ever want to, we can just pipe that over as well. So that's one thing that we're going to do. I'm going to start working on getting some of the farm stuff set up, and start putting it, start stockpiling all of that kind of stuff. And then I guess, we need to work on blaze stuff. We can always do more questing. We can do mechanism stuff or industrial foregoing. But I think trying to get blazes, that's probably what we're going to try to work on. That's kind of the big thing that we need. So we're going to need a big smeltery, and we're going to need a blaze farm. So that is going to be the plan. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, though, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!